This is the Cold Steel Republic, built right here in the USA out of S35 VN steel. And I can't wait to see how it handles the 2x4 durability test, and also see how it takes on those finer tasks. While discovering if the ergonomics are a disaster area with these tapered handle scales or epically conceived, while pointing out 2 hidden Easter eggs underneath these handles. So thanks for joining me today. I'm Aaron, this is Gideon's Tactical. Let's dive in. Now, the moment I unsheathed this knife, it immediately got me excited because of the dimensions that were chosen on this blade. 5 inches overall blade length, cutting edge is 4.5 on a 2/3 high flat grind, but on 0.15 thickness on that stock. That basically holds that all the way to a, I would say, medium tip. So it's definitely not thin, it's not hugely thick. Full tank construction all the way through. Means that it should be quite durable, but nice and slicey. I'm pleased to report that when it comes to the finer work and finesse, this is a fighter jet screeching through the sky. It is quick, it is nimble, it is agile, and feels like it is able to perform at a rate and at a capability that we don't always see with these basically 10-inch long knives, 5-inch blades. Now, just because a knife is quick and nimble does not mean that translates to it being tough and durable. And we're gonna find out in just a moment if this can stand up to the legacy of Cold Steel's iconic toughness. And guys, I love it when I find good, reliable, American-built gear and equipment because I feel like it's harder and harder to find. But thankfully, that is not the case when you hop on over to Huckberry and when you check out their Flint and Tinder series of apparel. And that's why I'm thankful they're today's sponsor, because their Wax Trucker series of jackets is sourced and built right here in the USA. And since first scoring this flannel lined version last fall, I can tell you from experience, these wear in and not out because of the 7-ounce sailcloth sourced out of New Jersey, and having it cut, sewn, and finished in LA means that it will protect you from the elements from coast to coast. And with unlined flannel or wool lined options, you can really dial in the insulation for your environment. But if casual is more your thing, the pullover or zip up 10-year guaranteed hoodies are ideal for the colder temperatures as we hit the fall, having cotton that's sourced out of the Mississippi Delta and fleece sourced out of South Carolina. So if you want more than just your blades to be made in the USA, I invite you to check out that link in the description below this video over to the Huckberry website. And don't forget about my exclusive 10% off promo code, which you can apply towards your very first purchase. So check them out and see all they have to offer. Now, what about that toughness and durability on this S35 VN steel, which is an excellent high-grade stainless steel. And this one has a Rockwell of 58 to 60, but let's see for sure if they've got it dialed in on the durability.
Let's start off with the tip test. Safety first, kids. Yeah! Now what about lateral torque? This is a stainless steel, so is it going to be able to snap back into place, or is it going to snap and break?
So not only are we getting a precision tool, but we're getting a tough tool as well, able to crack open kindling and baton easily and do all sorts of other harder woodscraft and durability work that you may want to put this knife through, but not lagging in the finesse. You're not just getting a bulldozer, you're also getting a sports car. Somehow you're getting a fighter jet mixed in with an intercontinental bomber. So the blade portion is absolutely well done and kind of sets itself apart because of its thinness, but durability compared to what else is on the market. Just awesome when you see it made in the USA on every aspect of a tool, and the sheath is not only made here in the States, but was extremely well thought out and executed, and I really got a nitpick to find any problems. One of the best parts is that there is no handle strap, that goes around the handle like most leather sheaths have. Not all, but most have that. And you got to watch it. You got to be careful that you're not going to nick that. You got the button snap. Those can fatigue over time. This doesn't need that because the tension is insane. And I haven't wet molded or done anything. It almost feels like Kydex when you put it in there. There's like a beautiful kind of sit like into place. Very well done. The coloring, that kind of ox blood with the double stitching, points on either end there, just a really, it's a dense leather, it's not super flexible, it's pretty rigid. You've got a really large drainage hole. Then you've got that nice size belt loop that can easily fit like a 2-inch belt. And then you got these 2 slits for smaller belts or other different types of attachment you may want to try to attempt to do. Good stitching across the top. Cold steel embossed right up there. Overall, amazing and one of the better built leather sheaths that I've seen recently. Now, what are the 2 Easter eggs underneath these handle scales? The first is that the tang is unskeletonized, meaning that there's just an extra layer of toughness and durability that we don't always see. I've never had a problem with the skeletonized handle breaking, but I know for some of you out there, you really like to see that full unskeletonized tang. It's absolutely got it. And then underneath that, laser engraved on one side, are some of the most supernaturally inspired words man has ever put to paper. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is amazing that they would laser engrave that underneath on the tang. Phenomenal. The republic that is America, that has stood the test of time, and God willing has many, many years to go. And it's just amazing to have that underneath this handle. It's an inspirational piece that you rarely see in today's world. So very cool. Hats off to Cold Steel for their willingness to just engrave that, state that, stand behind that, and an excellent name choice to go with this blade. Now, when it comes to the handle ergonomics, the handle is 5 inches long with a good palm swell being 0.76 on the thickness. Right there, you have these little checkered points that are so well milled on that canvas micarta. So it gives you this little feeling of texture, and it's not just like broom handle-esque. There's a little bit of grip, never created a hot spot. But then it scallops down to 0.55, right around that bolt, and then flares back out to 0.65. So you have this little valley that when you grab the blade, what that actually does is index your finger better up against that guard. You're totally locked in, plenty of real estate on the back end. There are several knives with choils similar that we'll talk about a little bit later in competitive options. You're basically like this if you're not using the choil, or like right there with large size hands. This gives you plenty. My index finger is not floating. That was one thing I wanted to make sure. As this is floating, nope, I have full tactile grip on the scale. And then what's really nice is that if you get up on that choil, what that actually does is give you a gradual slope for your middle finger right here. And what that means is it's actually a more intuitive experience with the choil than most other knives, because you just have a thick scale, then it drops to this thinness of the spine. So what it does is it's giving you a tapering that actually makes it more controllable. And these, when you're in the choil grip, your middle and your index actually feel more in line and more intuitive. So it's a very intuitive actually experience over many choiled fixed blades. Now, I will say at 5 inches of blade length, this is about the smallest I would ever really want a choil on. Larger knives, I have no problem with choils. If they start going under 5 inches of blade length, I'm kind of like, it's just not necessary. It's just not needed. This could have easily been created with giving us 3/4 of an extra blade length, no choil at all, and it also would have been great. And if I was designing, that's probably what I would have done. But for a choiled knife, this gives you excellent indexing and makes the knife now feel more compact and more usable for those really detailed working tasks. Now, you have some jimping along that back spine there. It's nowhere near Tops knives level sharp on the jimping. and gives you a good tactile feel. I don't think it's necessary. We could have gone without it altogether, but it's there and doesn't hinder hard pressure when you're making like a feather stick or other carving tasks. Now let's talk pricing and competitive options, because I have two stainless steel variant ideas for us to consider that are kind of in this idea of larger, thinner, and have kind of similar profiles. Now, this is going for an MSRP of $269. I've already seen it distributors for that price all the way down to like $220. So for an American made with S35VN. So that is pretty impressive. And what I'm finding is like post-pandemic designs. If designs were created prior to the pandemic a few years back, you can sometimes find them a little bit cheaper for similar materials. But since 2020, basically, everything, new designs just cost more, and that's kind of what we're seeing for the market. Now, I'll have links in the description below this video over to the distributors I really partner with. Not only that you can determine if this tool or the competitive options make sense for you, always appreciate it when you check it out through these links that I offer to you guys below. Now, Cold Steel did hook me up with this so I could test it out for you guys, show you pros, cons, help you determine for yourself, is this the right tool to start taking on your adventures or not? That's what I always do in these videos. Now, to give us a good competitive option, if you don't like finger choils, because I get it, some people at that size range, that is like pushing it for me for finger choils any smaller, and I'm about to highlight a competitive option that is an example of that. I don't like finger choils on them. So if you don't like that, the American made, what is this? American Tomahawk Rifleman is a great option. About 5.3 inches blade length, high flat grind, AEBL steel, Rockwell 59 to 60, full tank construction, leather sheath, ambidextrous, and it's gonna go for like $235. So right there in that same price point, I can't remember if it's at 530 seconds. So very quick in the hand, very similar kind of idea and concept and similar capabilities, but no finger choil. Now, I'm sure there's one other knife that many of you are thinking of. Well, what about the SE4 and S35VN? I don't like the SE4 profile at all. I had the 1095 version and I got rid of that pretty quick. I was just not impressed with that tool for a couple reasons. Now, the S35VN version, when available currently, is definitely a better value at like $170 last I checked when available. I can't find them in stock anywhere. So you can definitely save yourself some money, and there is something absolutely to be said about their no questions asked warranty, which is one of the best in the business, and I hope to see Cold Steel continue to step their game up in being able to handle, process, and take care of warranty claims quicker and faster since being picked up by GSM Outdoors. The difference, and when I saw this, I was like, okay, is this just like a glorified SE4? This is a very different design compared to that because it is an inch overall longer and has a much longer, more ergonomic and better handle. It's going to have a longer blade, and because it has a thinner stock versus the .19 on the SE, and it has this flat grind, I way more gravitate to the extra length, different grind angle, and thinner stock that this blade provides. So it looks similar, but it is not in any way similar in performance and ergonomic capability. Well, guys, I hope that you've had as much fun on this ride with the Republic as I have using it and taking you along for that ride. And I believe Cold Steel has carved out and sliced a spot in the market for them because of its size and durability. This could easily be a compact survival knife, but also because of its stock thinness and stainless steel capabilities, it could absolutely be on that larger sided camp knife or companion blade. So it's able to do both in a way few knives can, and again, just all made in the USA. For Cold Steel's jump into this kind of arena, I think they've done an excellent job because this is just so different than anything we've seen from them really before, and I look forward to seeing what else they come up with in the future. Thank you guys for coming over today. I do look forward to hearing your thoughts, your take, particularly if you own the Republic. What's been your experience? Do you enjoy it? Do you not? Pros, cons? Always love seeing the feedback from you, the viewers. Check out the other video popping up, and until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.